Good morning, Mom, sounded Uchenna. How is it going? Mom responds over the phone. I am afraid not good. Your father is dying. Nurse Matilda reached out to me since your father's wife left and ran away with what she could, and I am next in his line of emergency contact. Uchenna, his condition is not getting any better. He has only a few weeks left. He needs you, Uchenna. He needs a one last row with his son. Uchenna responds, well, he isn't getting it from me, not after all these years. At home, Uchenna kept tossing on the bed. He couldn't sleep. The next morning, on getting to the office, he seems lost in his thoughts. His subordinate, Obi, visits him in his office and juggles him back to reality. Sir, you look exhausted. Is there anything the matter? Uchenna responds that his father is dying and he needs his last days to be spent with him. But that can't happen after what he did to him while growing up. Aubrey replied, Sir, have I ever told you how I lost my brother? He was 10 and I was 12. It was an accident. We were on the bus on our way to school and it crashed. I survived, but I broke my arm. We had a fight on our way to school. I told him I was embarrassed of him. Those were my last words to him. If only I knew that he was going to die that day. Till date, I regret my actions. Mr. Uchenna, go make peace with your father. He might not deserve it, but when he dies, you deserve peace. Few hours later, Uchenna summons Obi to his office. Quickly, before I call it a day, you were right about most things, not everything, but it's about going to see my dad. I think I need to take a break to give my body and soul the much needed boost. So you are in charge while I am away. While in the taxi to go visit his dad, he drifts away in thought again. Mommy, I'm home. Look at him. I asked God for his son. And what did he send me? A gluten. Stop saying that. He is your son. You think he likes being overweight? He is scared and struggling too. You lie, woman. All the brat think about is food. Is he really my son? Not one person in my lineage is obese. Wicked soul, I regret the day I ever married you. On arrival, he walks into the compound. Meanwhile, a beautiful lady who lives next door starts admiring him. Knock, knock. A lady nurse opens the door. Hi, I believe my mother mentioned that I was coming. The nurse replied, yes. Uchenna, I did not imagine that you were going to look like this. Excuse me, replied Uchenna. Nurse Matilda continued with a giggle on her face. I thought you'd be larger in size. Uchenna responded, that was 20 years ago. I believe you're not the same person you were 2 days or 20 years ago. Nurse Matilda responds, I'm sorry, my name is Matilda. You're welcome. Your father is upstairs in his room. On walking into his father's room, Dad jerks in shock. So Uchenna goes to call the nurse, who attends to him. The next morning, he went upstairs to his dad's room. He sits and talks to his dad. I am here just because of Mom. She believes that if I don't bury the hatch with you before you die, I might regret it. So Dad, consider the hatch buried. Dad responds, son, you look great. At least I am happy. I had done the job you didn't want to do years ago. See you now, you don't look fat anymore. Uchenna in arrogance tells his dad that he is still a narcissist even in his dying bed. Will you keep quiet, young man? You cannot talk to me in that manner. I am still your dad. Uchenna in anger walks away. Jessica gives a knock on the door. Uchenna opens the door to see a beautiful damsel. Hey you, I'm sorry to ask, do you have a Type-C charger? Uchenna responds, yes, you can come in. She introduces herself as Jessica. On his way jogging in the morning, Uchenna meets a young dancer in distress. Her car will not start. He stops to give a helping hand. He checks the car and tells the lady it looks like an injector problem. You have to leave the car with me to fix. I live around here. They both exchange contacts. She introduces herself as Sarah. Meanwhile, back home, Nurse Matilda gives situation update to Uchenna's mom. How the building up relationship between father and son is going. Uchenna's mom encourages her to shoot her shot and enjoy the moment with her son while doing her job. In the evening, Uchenna returned the car, well fixed, to Sarah, who thanked him and offered to take him out on a date. But Uchenna requests for a homemade dinner at her time of chosen. She accepts. Meanwhile, Jessica and Uchenna goes out on a dinner date. After having so much fun on their way returning, they lock eyes and kiss. They say they will continue seeing each other with no strings attached. Nurse Matilda comes out to inform Uchenna, who is relaxing outside, and tells him that she's done for the day and she is leaving. She encourages Uchenna to spend more time with his dad and try to patch up things with him. Meanwhile, Uchenna compliments her that she looks nice without her scrubs. She smiles and walks away. Before Uchenna retires for the night, he goes to his old room and sees his childhood picture hanging on the wall, looking fat. He drifted in thought as he held onto his childhood picture. I told you not to send my son to that command school, but you insisted. Now look at where we are. Woman, stop crying. Look at him. He has lost a chunk of weight. What is wrong with you? You were not even remorseful that your son was beaten and has his liver ruptured, and you are glad he lost some weight? So now he is your son because he has lost some weight? Nurse Matilda is seen convincing her patient to take his medication, but he is refusing, saying that there is no need since his son is still not in good relationship with him. Immediately, Uchenna walks in and tells him, I am not your nurse, so you will have to take this medication from me. Nurse Matilda excuses herself out from the room. Uchenna's dad starts talking to his son. Son, I deserve any treatment you give to me. If you hate me, I totally understand. Dad, I am not that boy you used to know in many years ago. It's just I can't seem to forget how awful of a father you were to me because I was fat. I should be a grown man and let things be in the past. I should be able to let go of the past and end it. I get triggered by your voice. Dad pleads for forgiveness and they both reconcile. Uchenna calls up Obi and tells her that him and his father has made things up. They have patched things up, but now he's caught up with three ladies. He doesn't know which one to choose from. His dad's caregiver nurse, Matilda, the other a boss lady, Sarah, the other a fashionista, Jessica. And in my own way, I put them in three categories: boss lady, badass chick, and mama bear. I label them to make my shopping easier. He laughed. While Uchenna was having a quiet time at home, he receives an August visitor, Sarah, who comes into the house, asking him if he was all right while touching his face. As she was doing that, Jessica walks in with surprise on her face. Then Nurse Matilda walks in as well. Now the game is on, Sarah said. Since the three of them are all here, they should introduce themselves properly. Jessica comes close and says, Hey baby, I am Uchenna's girlfriend. Sarah also introduced herself as his lover. Nurse Matilda walks out in anger. Sarah as well. Later that day, Uchenna talks to his friend Obi. He confides her that he does not know which of them to pick. Out of the three of them, they are all wonderful. Obi advises him that if you truly love someone, you let them go. If they come back, then it is meant to be. The next day, Uchenna sends a gift box to Nurse Matilda. Then for Jessica, he visits. She tries to seduce him, but he resists and tells her that his heart belongs to someone else, but she cries and walks away. He also visits Sarah in her house. As they were chatting, he gets an emergency call and runs off, only to get home and meet some policemen waiting for him, telling him that he must follow them to the station, that Nurse Matilda is missing. And they found a message on her phone which indicates that he has a hand in her abduction. Obi had to travel down to meet him to help out with the missing case. Sarah stumbles on Obi and Uchenna having a discussion. She becomes jealous and walks out. Uchenna follows her to explain that Obi is just his CFO in the office, that there is nothing between them, but she tells him that the way they look at each other indicates unspoken love there. She tells him it's all over and she leaves. Obi and Uchenna gets talking, and Uchenna tells her that she has always been the one, that the chemistry between them is unquestionable. They're always amazing together. It took him this long to realize that she has always been the one. Obi was in tears and they hugged, promising to take things slow, one step at a time. Nurse Matilda walks in on them with a man she introduced as her husband, and she explains that she was not kidnapped. It's just that she eloped with her husband, who just came back from the state to have a good time with him.